fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. We had a really early mid-month update just get pushed through with the main intention to improve this loop right here with the USS Relativity, which has been, received. How well? Well, it's been received. Now, the ship itself has gotten some boosters. We're going to talk about that. And I also want to give you all a little bit of a refresher slash update slash more info, however I want to really word that. I don't honestly know the best way to word that, but many of you have been asking about the independent archives. I do want to talk about how that is getting worked on, and yes, more ships are coming. So for those who don't know that info, you'll hopefully have it at the end of this video. That'll be the second part. Let's start with the mid-month update, what that did, what it looks like. Here are the notes. So pretty simply, it is all focused around the Relativity. So if you're not a big fan of the Relativity, you can skip to the independent archive portion. However, I do want to point out, especially for our free-to-play out there are definitely reasons to be focusing in on the updates to the Relativity, what it's going to get changed into, how it's going to be improved, because I'm going to show you a few different things of how it's really going to improve the average player's everyday life. Now, to be very clear, I don't think that always extends to everybody. For example, if you're a G6 player, I don't think this has a ton of benefit to you later on. But for all of you regular players out there, free-to-play, light spinners, those who are in the 40s, those who are going to be in the 40s, something to pay attention to, because this is going to be a ship that in a year, 6 months from now, a year from now, you'll see the average player really taking advantage of some of the big things that it can do. So let's talk about what's changing. You're seeing this right here, significantly boosting the encrypted intelligence passive for the USS Relativity to help more commanders progress in their FKR rep. This is important. I'll show you why here in a bit. But the passive buff increases encrypted intelligence by X% when fighting criminal invading entities or armadas, 350, 454, and 720. Now, this one is a tester for Seska, so you should have gotten a gift chest today. If you did not collect your gift chest, go to your gifts, and then you'll find it in the combat section. So actually roll back real quick to our regular screen. Go to your combat exit, you'll see these two sitting right here. If you've collected your daily, or I'm sorry, your gift daily that you would have gotten today on Monday, February 10th, if you haven't, go do that, and then you'll be part of what we're talking about right here. But back over to the main screen for the, the words and stuff. So what do those do? Well, it's going to give you increased crit hit damage by 40% for 4 rounds and 30% shield restore. Just basically letting you try out Seska's abilities and see how they work and if you enjoy them. So I think that is a nice little thing. Try it out whenever you really want to. It's a taster to getting Seska. Obviously, obtaining Seska is tied directly to the ship and the DTI faction. As we can see, the faction options here, where we made adjustments so the commanders can now see additional Relativity locked rewards up front. It is nice to be able to see the things and the little boxes. So if you don't have the Relativity, hopefully you are pulling your chest every day to get those 2 VPs. Yes, you do want to go after it. And again, I'll show you some. Really feel like long term is going to be a good free-to-play ship in terms of what it's going to help you do really quickly. Depends on how much your alliance is going to run it. You can already jump in the comments and tell me you don't care, but that's fine. I'll show you some of the things I think are really neato. So, Relativity combat boost versus criminal formation armadas. Now, these are 4 new research nodes that are extremely cheap. I actually have players in these streams worried like, hey, Rev, they messed up. Better take advantage. But no, these are actually intended. We'll talk about those here in just a second. But as you can see on the screen, this is what they do. And they are improving the Relativity's general ability. So, formation shield mitigation, which is increasing shield mitigation for the Relativity when fighting those by 10%, so taking it from 80 up to 90. And you have increasing shield health overall against formations by 150%, adds 30% shield repair per turn for the Relativity against formation armadas, and then last but certainly not least, increasing the ISO damage for the Relativity against those same formation armadas by 100%. Now, where are these? What do they look like? So again, right back over to our game. The ones with the little gold borders. Right here, and they're really cheap. It's like 10 particles to do, and then it's almost an instant complete. So yeah, they're very cheap. They're intentional. Go ahead and do those real quick to get your bonuses. These are all released to help empower the ship that, again, has been received. Yeah, but there you go. So y'all go check those out. All right, Relativity loot gains. So you now are getting more loot. 50% up to 1,000% alongside combat buffs for boosting the loot Relativity earns from defeating them. So there you go. You can now see the various changes. And I do think, again, This is a good thing because the Relativity does not have a ton going for it. Not that it doesn't have, you know, the DTI faction stuff. The things that it could lock, sure, were solid. But were you really getting like a lot of goodies? I wouldn't say you're getting a ton of goodies. So this is just, again, increasing the amount of loot and making it more valuable, just generally speaking. So there you go. All right, coming soon, additional DTI stuff. You also should have seen the Janeway's pocket watch showing up now in that faction store. It was there originally, it disappeared, now it should be back. So you're seeing all those things. I do want to talk about some of the things that I do like about this faction. I really want to point out for F2P. Now, not going to affect everybody today, but I wanted to give you a glimpse into your future. For example, we have these favors, which are the encrypted exchanges. In those encrypted exchanges, you're using this currency right here, encrypted intelligence, to exchange directly for reputation. Real quick, show you the favors. Here they are. I chose Federation because that's the one I'm weakest in, right? So here we go. This is my rep. Now, I'll be very clear for those who've been paying attention to the stream. You're like, wow, rep, how did you get to 3.9 billion so fast? Well, I'm in an alliance that is running these armadas and these formation armadas, and I'm participating. The goal is, if you're a free-to-play / regular player out there doing that in the future, give you a visual of what that has been like for me. Again, I'm just simply giving you what it can do. I'm not telling you to buy in or get really excited or to go buy the ship, but here's something to look forward to. So with this SLB, I have progressed 2 billion reputation in Fed by simply running the armadas this week with my alliance. Not buying packs, nothing. So what I'm wanting you to see is down the road, with all these increases, with the things that are being done, the fact that I, in a week, have gotten this ship and then was able to convert that at level 56 into 2 billion faction reputation is cool. Like, that's nice. And that's something that long-term I think is going to be beneficial to everybody. Now, the higher level players, they don't need the rep because they've either maxed it out or they've got other things. But if you're an average player out there going, hey, what value does this even have for me to get into it? That's one of the things for me. Yes, the Relativity research tree is very meh. I get it. And yeah, formation armadas are our formation armadas. I also want to point out that the new formation armadas drastically speed up sourcing some of the older artifacts, which can be good for a lot of y'all. But specifically these different things. Now, as you get to different ranks, so once I reach Chief Detective, I'll be able to get another one, whether it be Klingon or Romulan. So again, these are just things to keep in mind. Like, will this benefit me? Do I want it long term? Yeah, I think it's something to go after with the reverences, that is. So, something to keep in mind. I've got my Fed reverence up now, and then we'll go through all the different favors as we get bigger, better, stronger. And you see we've got the pocket watch back. We've got the encrypted intelligence epic right there. So again, as you tier up, as you get more things, there are some things down the road to like. I picked the faction one that I was weakest at, and now you can see the benefits of it. So let's go over to the independent archives real quick, because I told y'all I wanted to give y'all an update. And the update is a lot of, well, hopefully telling y'all something that you could have already known, but if you didn't, now you will. So will we be getting new independent archives this month? Now this is recent, so I figured I would reshare. Short answer is no, you're not getting it this month, obviously. However, there's some good info here that you should pay attention to of who's running ARC. So this was a conversation where we had a DO17 talk about running things with Mr. Tiger, and when we were going to be looking at getting more things added to the independent archives. And as you can see here, there's a time there. So looking at potential of Q1, for those who don't know, I actually ran this in my Discord. Businesses, games, etc. sort things by quarter. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So quarter 1 being the first quarter of the year. Now let's take a look at this next little screenshot I want to share with you. So what ships could be on the list? So we see a timetable here, at least by Q2. So definitely by Q2, maybe by the end of Q1. There's your timetable. What are we looking at? Possibly looking at the Devores, the Mantis, the Meridian, the Stella, and both Franklins, and even the Amalgam are the highest priorities to get added. I just wanted to be very clear with this little update is they haven't forgotten about the independent archive. It's running on schedule in terms of when the new ships are getting added. So for those out there curious, yes, you're getting more loops removed from the game. Yes, that is still happening. No, it's not been forgotten. So hopefully this little refresher gives you what you're looking for. This is straight from Game Design's mouth. Now, I've said this before on stream. If they don't do this, we're going to go after them. Pitchforks and torches, baby. But running to plan. to be looking end of Q1, which we're currently in February, so that'd be looking around March, maybe April. Should be taking an eye out for some independent archives improvements and additions. And these are some big ones that a lot of y'all have been asking for some time. And again, I've told y'all that I expect things like the DeVore, Fisha, the Franklins to be some of the big ones up front. But as we saw with the first rendition of the independent archives, they also put in things that max out a little bit later. So on this list, if you're looking at maybe the Meridian and Mantis being, or the Fisha being the ones that max out the latest in the list, as you saw, we had the Talios, Voyager, Monavine, which require 51 plus, and for the Talios, 58. But yes, those are still on schedule. Yes, talked to game design this morning, and they're still working on content. So yeah, nothing's changed on that. So hopefully this update gives you some good news out there. I hope it does. And if it doesn't, well, then dang it. I hope you're having a great day regardless. Great start to your week. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with our Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. As always, appreciate y'all. And I'm out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.